Calradia Imperial Age is a mod for Mount and Blade warband set in the early 1800s during the Napoleonic Wars, which completely changes the map of all the factions in the game. Using regimental gunpowder combat and combined armed tactics, you'll have to use everything you have at your disposal in order to crush your enemies on the battlefield. Calradia Imperial Age was developed by Imperial Games, who also are making the Red Wars, and features an extensive map. The first faction we have is the Holy Swadian Imperium, based off the Austrian and Holy Roman Empires of our timeline. Next, we have, in the green, the Second Rhodoc Republic, which is based off the Italian states that existed. Then, we have the Commonwealth of Albion, which is on the extended part of the map on an island. They're based off the United Kingdom, so they're an island nation, but there are paths that you can take to get from the mainland to the island. To the south, we have the Saranid Sultanate, which is based off the 18th century Ottomans and their vassals, and they are stuck in the past technologically, but they make up for it because their troops are cheaper. To the north of them, replacing the Kyrgyz Khanate, we have the Kesik Kyrgyz Hetmanate, which is based off the Cossacks that existed in the steppe in Russia and Ukraine. They field heavily cavalry armies. The map is also extended to the south, not just to the west, and we have first off the Kingdom of Castillo, which is based off Iberia, so Portugal and Spain, and they have land there, but they have no one to their south, so they only fight against the Saranids. On their own island, we have the Kingdom of Ancia, which is based off France at that time, and they also on an island, but there are paths to connect them to the Rhodoc parts. In the north, we have Nordland, which is based off the Norse, and they are replacing the Norse kingdoms from vanilla. They're based off the Netherlands and a mixture of Netherlands and Sweden. We also have a little state called the Grand Duchy of Dalant, which is there, and they're separate from the Nords, and they have a little territory with only one city and one castle. There's the Vagar Empire, which is based off of Russia in the 1800s, so they have their typical black uniforms that they use. There's the revolutionary state of Valentia, which is a separate part of Russia, so they're kind of like the French Revolution, but if it occurred in Russia instead, so they're trying to fight them. And finally, in the northernmost part, the map's also been extended here, and we have the Commonwealth of Gotmark, which is based off Denmark. Inside the mod folder, there's an explanation of some of the new tactics and commands added to the game. An easy one is the volley fire. To do volley fire, you press F3, then F2 to get your troops to fire at your command, and then when you want them to shoot, you press F2 again and they'll all fire. Because the weapons are so powerful, the volleys are extremely deadly. Sometimes they're so deadly that just one-hit kills, even on yourself. If you want to do a charge, you can press F4 and then select your troops to use only melee weapons, and then tell them to go where you need to go, and then they will do a charge using their bayonets or their swords. The lack of armor and usage of gunpowder weapons means that your character is very susceptible to damage and usually dies with one hit kills. Cavalry charges are especially devastating because so few of the units use spears. They only have swords or bayonets, which are very useless against cavalry. Unfortunately, the siege system works the same way as vanilla Mount and Blade, meaning that there's only one ladder, and the addition of gunpowder weapons means that the AI can't handle the fact that it has to shoot and charge at the same time, leading to massive deaths of your troops while you try to siege, and huge pileup of bodies under the ladder. Troops like light infantry and Jaegers play an important part in having a successful army. Jaegers are skirmishers and have long range weapons, so they can shoot the enemy from further. So as they approach, you can use them to kill some of the enemies and also keep the enemy under pressure as your infantry line approaches or your cavalry flanks around your enemies. So when you put all the different kind of tactics together, this is what I'm doing right now in the video. You're using infantry and skirmishers and finally the cavalry to defeat the enemy. You get very nice looking battles that kind of seem like a total war game. And overall, the mod is pretty good. It takes place in an interesting period of history during the Napoleonic Wars and around that time period. The extended map to include the equivalent of Great Britain, France, Spain, and the Northern Europeans is good. Using the tactics, as you can see, is pretty fun and has much better than vanilla for that. Another plus is that the mod works fine on Linux without needing to add anything. Unfortunately, the sieges are pretty bad, and overall the mod still feels very vanilla with guns and the tactics added in.